thank you for joining us. I want to get right into this. So let's start out by going on to the COVID crap. Then we'll get to what we need to talk about. As of Friday, there's been no new cases. 7-day average, 75. 59,000. We're getting close to 60,000. 1,100 deaths. 1,160 deaths. 4.1 million. 5846. 62,000. 274. And 258. As for the vaccines, 32.1. New doses 78,000. 14.7 have been fully vaccinated. 50.9%. The deaths. 5 new deaths. 7-day average 6.3. In total, 160. Not a mistake. Now, as for the schools, let's check out Friday. Check out the 24th. Whoa, no new cases. 1 junior high student, 1 primary student for Friday. All in all, the rest is going good. Rest is going good. So keep up the good work. And right now, Flag Bluff is still at stage 2, so we still have to be in stage 2. We still need to make sure that. So I'm gonna make sure everyone is taking the necessary precautions during these challenging times, so that everyone has to make sure that everyone's doing what they're doing, making sure everyone's taking the right steps to making sure to stay safe. That includes masks all the time at the nose. For children, I would not recommend it unless you're under 2. Social distance, 6 feet. And sanitize your hands every time. And make sure you disinfect your area if you go to school. Your desks. Wash your hands every 20 seconds to kill the spread of germs. That's how it is. Also, if you have a medical condition, like asthma or something, you need to make sure you let your boss know, let them know beforehand that you have a medical condition, and they ask for proof, then show them. So we have to make sure that everybody is making sure everyone's getting vaccinated and all, so that we don't go through this problem again. And with that being said, all the other things are at risk. I mean, right now, last week, and nothing else seems to be going on. So still, everybody has to make sure that you guys are getting vaccinated, making sure you guys are taking the proper steps, and making sure you're following the rules. Even if you're, and just because you're vaccinated, it does not mean that you're in the clear. Booster shots are just still waiting to be approved. If you're over 65 or have weak immune systems, now would be a great time for you to get that booster shot. Also, if you have COVID, schedule a vaccine and make sure you stay quarantined. If you're at work and you've been diagnosed with COVID, then let your boss know and show him the positive tests so that he'll understand. Which brings me to our next one. Next, our new series, Workplace Confidential. It's one of our classic break series. I'll explain better when we return. Before we move on to a new series, I thought I should let you know a good friend of mine, a very, very good friend of mine, is being renamed the Dr. Freeman Teen Center. The Boys of Girls Club of the Coastal Band had a ribbon coming from the new Dr. Freeman Teen Center and FBI student this week. The program was official to former Superintendent Dr. David Freeman and was named in his honor. A group of FBHS students attending the event enjoying participation in many activities in the center offer students daily. The new teen center is especially filled with teens filled with activities loved to do, including foosball, pool table, Xbox, and Netflix. BGCCB staff is also available to assist students with homework needs, and the center is laptops available to students with use. It's open for FBSC students from ages 13 and 18, Monday to Friday 4-7, near the Hornet Spirit Shop, and the SGGC facilities. Parents can register your teen in the program by calling that number, which I'm not going to let you tell you, and the email. Costs $50 per teen per semester. So if your teen wants to, so that's the only place with Latchkey, and I feel sorry for that, but I feel that Dr. Freeman would be stunned and surprised. Now to our new series, Workplace Confidential, where I give you guys old topics. On my old show, I talked to you guys about sex in the workplace and workers acting out and freaking out. We're still going to do those two things in just a sec, but I want to jump into always calling in late / balancing school and work. Now, throughout the series where I work at, I'm not going to mention where I work at. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to show the property. And I'm especially not going to be throwing any employees where I work with or any managers under the bus. That can be led to lawsuits, which I'm not going to explain. So, I mean, it's just basically, it's like calling in late every time, and like, if you're at work and you always call in, you're sick of it. It's like every time. You get more calls than Bart Simpson, Louis Stevens, Duttweiler, going into the office. Those are troublemakers. I mean, where I work at, new rules are saying, call in, don't be calling in every time. With unapproved absences. I mean, a few reasons are unapproved. It's just like my cat or dog got sick, I have too much homework, I lost my shoe, you have a headache, your mom lives in Egypt, and has cancer. Your parents are out of town, have to watch the house. Those are just lame. Those are just stupid excuses. As for the homework, get your shit done on your own time. It's like, well, my school's, I have to make sure I get this done before this and that. I don't give a shit. I don't really give a crap. I don't give a shit. If your homework, if you need to get your homework done, get your homework done at your own time. Don't be doing it during your shift, unless you're on your lunch break. Also, if you have a headache, you need to come to work. The manager will make a decision to send you home. Again, it'll be up to the manager. Don't be convincing him like, please send me home. I don't want to deal with this. I have a bad headache. Just wait for the decision. As for the parents who are out of town, okay. When my mom left for Wisconsin, that was on a Friday. I still went to work. I didn't stay home. I went to work. I got the key, locked the door. That was before all this. So, that's one of the unimproved excuses, or unexcused. Medical emergency, like one's improved. Medical emergency, documentation you saw a doctor. You need that before you return. If you test positive for COVID, you need to tell your boss. You need to show your boss a piece of paper. A piece of paper. That's not for better. And that piece of paper is very important for them, you using it to wipe your ass. To show it to your boss and say, here, this will show you that I have positive COVID. Don't fake it. If your parents, mother, father, sister, you live with them, you need to confirm. And all those excuses where you work at, I have to agree with the manager. For where I work at, here's what I have to say to you. It ends right now. If you guys lose your job, it's just basically because you didn't want it or you weren't responsible enough to make the right decision. And that has to be at work. You need to get your issues done on your own time, not at your jobs. Your job is very important than all these other issues. If you went to a doctor's appointment, you still got to call them and saying, hey, I might be late because of a doctor's appointment. You still got to get that paper. Send it out and say, hey, I was at a doctor's appointment, so here's the paper. And if your family is ill, you need to get a call from the spouse to let them know beforehand. For you guys, I mean, I like you guys. I don't want to have to see you walking away from your job because your homework is very important. Which brings us to our next segment. Balancing work and school. When my sister was, let me tell you something. When my sister was young and she went to high school, she got a part-time job at Pizza Hut. And the manager there balanced it. And I'm like, when I was a kid, I looked at that and I was like, okay, that's good, but how will that affect the attendance? I mean, if it's after school hours, okay. It's like before the pandemic. Mr. Crenshaw, the former principal at Flathead High School, told you guys what your teachers assign you are grades that you're going to be held accountable for, and they're going to go on your permanent record. Those grades that you started with them last year were your start, and if you started strong, you had the tendency to finish strong. And this year, take your grades very, very seriously, as well as your assignment, as well as your homework assignments. Take it seriously. And don't be coming up there and saying, hey, I can't come in because this and that, because I got to do my homework. It's like one person. Again, I'm not mentioning names, not showing the property, not throwing people under the bus. Even if I am throwing them under the bus, well, that's their problem. I'm not going to be judging them. So again, get your stuff done in your own time. Your job takes priority. Get your stuff done on your own time. If you can't do that, then if you don't like your job, if you don't like what you're doing, then just wait till you graduate. Or if you're going to college and still working, choose one or the other. Don't balance it. Think of the scale. You're not using what's between your ears. You're using what's under your nose. If you use more of this, and none of this, you're going to have issues. And it's going to go out of control. There's more coming in break when we come back. There is another school shooting that happened. And this time it was in North Carolina. The dies in the school shooting. The suspect is in custody. He was shot and killed on a Wednesday by a fellow student who was taken into custody hours after the incident. William Chavis Jr. was shot at Terminal High School in St. William shortly afternoon. Paramedics rushed Miller. 5-hour search to the suspect, the student who they declined to identify, was taken into custody without incident. Painting Hunter head under the desk. We don't need. I mean, seriously. That's one of the places where guns are prohibited. I mean, again, there is another school shooting. There's probably another shooting. No shooting. One person killed. I mean, just seriously, we don't need no more shootings. At a Virginia high school, there was a school shooting. Opening fire in the hallway. The 15-year-old warrior was charged with aggravated malicious looting and firearms offenses, and that 15-year-old is now in juvie. Stop it. We don't need, if you're threatening to shoot up a school, that counts as being arrested for threatening a teacher. "16 school shootings happened this year, and a lot of things are happening. That's because students don't find a way to solve problems. Lockdown drills are the most possible to shoot situations. Wisconsin's fire drill, tornado drills. School shootings have not been something parents worried about when they were in school, but there is a lot of work being done every day to prevent them. This year there's been 16 school shootings and 75 in 2018. And COVID-19 played a role in 2020. With 10 shootings, a number lower in 2019, 25 shootings in 2018, 24. Of the shootings this year, 24 people were killed or injured. 6 of the 24 children were adults who died. And so, as part of our education tracker on these school shootings, we have to make sure that no one is bringing a gun to school. And yesterday there was another school shooting outside of a football game Friday night, halting the game, putting a nice alarm spread in the stands. Players eventually directed to get up and leave the field. Deputies searched the area, did not find the shooter. Stop it. We don't need no more shootings. And how about this one? The suspect was also a student. Heritage High and Huntington Middle School closed the shooting and injured 2 students. The suspect is also a student. I bet he's a juvenile. We don't need people shooting up schools because they don't like that. They don't like the teacher, or they don't want to solve problems. Like if you have a problem with it, don't be. This was in Louisville, Kentucky. There are resources, counselors out there who are willing to help, and yet all you guys want to do is get your gun and go shoot up a school. And in Detroit, Taylor High School student was charged for a school shooting threat. Threatening to shoot up a school, that can get you charged and get you sent to juvie. And in Florida, 2 middle school students were arrested in the alleged school shooting plot. Nothing is being done. Those teens are undergo psychiatric evaluation under Florida's Baker Act before being moved to a detention facility. The spokesman said Baker Act allows medical facilities to operate 72 hours for evaluation. No more shooting people. Stop it. This goes all the way back to Columbine, or to the first school shooting. And on the 25th anniversary of the Columbine shooting, 14 agents have been charged with a plot to attack Pennsylvania High School in 2024 on our 25th anniversary. Which it wasn't that. Violent juveniles don't need to be carrying a gun. We don't need that. Don't be shooting up schools. We don't need that. If you're mad about something, there are resources available to talk to them. They'll talk with you. Be back in a moment. Monday on Coming Break, special half hour going into Gabby Mateo. Documented her cross-country trip with fiance and give you the list on what happened ever since. That's Monday. So I was just giving a break Saturday going to Sunday. We'll see you again for Cut Me a Break Monday. Good night.